What's the most important thing you've learned over the course of 50 episodes? Congrats, by the way. I think
one thing we got to choose.
Most important. What's the most important thing? Let's just say things. One, I think, is that we've learned how to banter better in terms of timing.
That's the most important thing we've learned.
Well, for people who are listening,
that's true.
Sure. I'm not saying like our banter in terms of how we talk to each other, but our timing. We're not yelling at each other at the same time as much. Yeah, like that. Okay.
I think I think me and Ian have this sort of you look at those graphs of circles. We would probably overlap for like 80% of sort of topics for the most part.
Let's go 70.
Just to be an asshole. So okay, our code just got pulled apart because of that. We don't agree on that. But for even the stuff we disagree on, we can be civil about it. We're rational individuals. We're not going to cast aspersions at each other. We never got visibly angry at each other too much on the podcast. Not
often.
Now it's coming out.
No, I'm just saying not often.
Not often. But I think what's important to civil discussion is that you remember that opinions don't necessarily reflect what the individual is for the most part, and that when it comes down to it, your beliefs about something or opinions about whatever, as long as you're a good person, what you believe, at least to me personally, that's secondary.
Sure.
You treat people well, that's more important. You can believe in the best shit on earth, but if you treat people like shit or are a bad person, that doesn't matter anymore. Not to get too philosophical, because I've seen that happen. I've heard of quote unquote feminists behind people's back talk shit about women and treat women like shit. It's just like, so saying you're a feminist, it doesn't really matter anymore. Or even the opposite. You have people that are very religious or believe they're very religious and believe in the most horrific stuff. And then go out and yell about it. So I mean, be civil. That's what I've learned. That not that I was ever not civil with Ian, but you get to learn about a person's personality more, I guess, talking to them. Not that me and Ian always had good conversations though, even before the podcast, and that's why, that fateful day, I'm like, hey, let's do this. You're good. Let's do this.
I think we could argue over how it came about. But
I walked into Luna and I said, you should do this with me.
I recommended it to you like a year prior.
Well, then at the time I thought it was a horrible idea, so it doesn't count. It was terrible.
I mean, for me, I sometimes my emotions get the best of me. I'm a very emotional person, but I've learned to tone it back. And
oh yeah.
What I think, I agree with what Pat says in terms of opinion, especially heated opinion in a debate or opinions in a debate or a discussion, do not necessarily reflect a person's true personality. And I do want to say, not to sound silly, but I think a lot of listeners have probably learned over the course of 50 episodes that you and I are not exactly who we appear to be all the time on the podcast too. We are simply sitting here debating and casting out opinions.
Sure. I mean, there's a degree of acting even when you're doing a radio show or doing a podcast.
I don't feel like I'm ever acting, but sure, there's probably some act.
We're not acting, but we're still putting on a performance.
Right, exactly.
Sense. Like when we do with the marathon. We're not acting, but we're still doing some sort of performance.
We know we're on camera. At this point, I've become aware of that.
Your personality doesn't change, but it sort of shifts to the environment. Let's just say that. But if you meet Ian and I in person at a convention or whatever at Luna Video Games, 2 locations in La Mesa and Ocean Beach, buying and selling retro games.
Thanks.
That we are who you think we are for the most part. Like, this is it. Like, this, we're not gonna talk about shit that we don't believe in or give opinions we don't believe in. We're not gonna say stuff just to get hits. We're not gonna say stuff that we think our audience is gonna like. And we're gonna hopefully challenge. There's lots of videos where people hate Ian. He thinks it's only him, but no, people have hated on me. I got tons of shit. I had people making videos about me because I tore down talking about the Smash Brothers, the 2 different modes, competitive versus people. People got on me for that, and at the end of the day, though, it's like, we're not going to just spoon feed you bullshit. That's at least what I think. We're not going to spoon feed you what we think you should hear. Sometimes we'll debate each other, but even if we don't debate each other, even if we agree on a subject, I'll try to play devil's advocate or do a spin. You'll try to come out at a different angle to at least bring something to the table that you wouldn't expect just from saying, "Oh, I'm going to talk to you about something for 5 minutes, and it's exactly what you think I was going to say about it.
We reflect who we are on the podcast accurately, and we don't fuck it up. But in real life, we're also not quite as amplified. I think anyone who's met any of us at a convention realizes that I'm not going to stand there and yell in their face about Batman and Superman if they want to bring it up. I do in the moment with you because I feel passionate about it at that moment. But if someone really comes up to me and wants to talk about it, I can't get that worked up about it.
I do things to you, Ian. I know.
Yeah.
That's what you've learned. You've learned how passionate
Oh,
I can make you.
Christ.